Hello again, and welcome to Hey Mom, Play This. I'm Kimmy Amber, and I play games so that you can decide through my gameplay if you'd like to play as well. Today is about automation, factory style, conveyor belts, all that good kind of stuff, and we're going to start with shapes. So we have our tutorial down here. I have played this one. I'm going to extract some circles. And then we're going to put a conveyor belt. This is not an idle game. Build more extractors and belts to finish the goal quicker. Hold Shift to place multiple extractors and use R to rotate them. And then the conveyor belt transports, as you hover over, it tells, as you click on it, it tells you can't hover over that. All right. So if we rotate and, it says Shift, but that's okay. We're gonna go like this because we have to get 30 circles in this current challenge goal. There we go. Now I am going to do a little bit of skipping and forwarding because this is can turn into a very, very complex game. Lots and lots of things that you're able to do. All right, we're going to cut this and throw away half of it because our goal is over here, the left half of a circle. Now we don't need, place 2 more cutters to speed up this slow process. Okay, we're going to right click to get rid of the belt. We're going to put another cutter right here. Because we need 40. Whoops. You know what? We don't need that. Let's get rid of that. And then we could put one more. This tool. One more here. Well, actually, we're at 32 of 40 already, so we don't need to put another one in there right now. This game is a challenge for me because of 2 things. I am not visually artistic. This one gave you no reward, but the next one will. Do not destroy your existing factory. You need all those shapes later to unlock upgrades. Show upgrades. Okay, so here we are. We have 30. We have 80 of 30, and we can upgrade this one. So now we would need 75 plus 500 of the bottom half in order to upgrade this one again. Then we have squares and these star shapes and the square rectangular right-hand rectangle of the square painted. So these are the immediate upgrade goals. You can see with 300, 500, 500, 600, those are going to take us a minute. So that's why I'm saying I'm going to do a little bit of skipping and jumping, pausing and jumping, so that you can see more and more of the game. And then before I move on to the next game, I will actually go to a much more advanced game and show you the craziness that this can get to. And I have not been playing it that long. So we still needed, is it this one? No, that's the statistics. We still needed full circles. And then we need the bottom half of a circle. And I'm not sure how to make the bottom half. Maybe there's a rotator or a way to change the orientation of how it's cut? We'll find out. Okay, so we still need full circles. So let's go ahead and plug that in there. No, you know what? Here's something that you can do. You can take this and add it to that belt. Well, maybe you can't. Okay, you can't. That would have been nice though. All right, we'll just put the circles in there. Now it says that we need, let's extract some rectangles, build 4 extractors and connect them to the hub. So we need to scroll out a little bit. Get out of there. There's some circles. I mean, some squares. It says extract rectangles. Those are not rectangles. Those are squares. Anyway, look how big this map is. But there's only the one hub, so everything ties into that one hub. And I'll show you in a little while how that's actually possible, even though you're going to have tons of shapes that you're doing, and there are only 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 connections. So I'll show you how that's possible in a little bit. All right. So we need 4 extractors. Going to rotate them. And it said shift and we can drag. And then connect them. So we'll do that. Nope, that one. There we go. And you can drag over stuff and it'll change it. For example, if I went this way, then the belt's going the wrong way. Okay. So we need 70 of those. We're going to just let that run. And we're going to go back and look at this. We actually need 300 to get this next. And here's the benefit of upgrade. We went from 1 to 150. The next upgrade will go from 1.5 to 2. Speed on extraction, that's belts, distributors, and tunnels. Speed on extraction will go from 1 to 1.5. Cutting, you see. So right now we just have these basic, I'm waiting to get to this. Multifunction balancer has been unlocked. It can be used to build bigger factories by splitting and merging items onto multiple belts. Okay, so this will do 2 different things. It will take a single belt and put it onto 2 different belts, or it'll take 2 belts and merge them onto 1. Okay, and it says we want now the left half of the squares. Now our cutter, we rotate it. We could put one here. And then we don't need this half, so we can get rid of that. That's correct. Now because of the way the cutter orients, we can only do this so much. We're going to trash this side and put these. Now, if you don't use the, is that the right half? Yes, it is. If you don't use the trash can, then this output will block, which will back up all of this. All right, now we can't actually use this one anymore if we're going to put another cutter in. Put that cutter in. And this is not the side we need. I want to show you. See how it has stopped here, and it'll just keep backing up until it's fully locked up. So we have to put a trash can to throw the rest of it away. All right, we're almost done with that already. Rotators, there we go. We want that. Rotates it by 90 degrees. And it looks like it's clockwise. There are key bindings, control and drag is select an area, shift to place multiple buildings, alt invert orientation of placed belts. I'm not entirely certain what that means. And then of course we've got our regular other key binds. All right, we need the top half of a circle. So we need to rotate this one and rotate this one. And now we have the top half. We need 170 of those. So we're going to let that run. We're going to look at this again. We also need bottom halves. We need 500 bottom halves. Oh boy. Okay, so then what we're going to do, we have plenty of the hole for now. So we're going to take the hole and we're going to split it. We're going to change the input. We're going to take this one there, and we need bottom halves, right? Bottom halves. So we're going to rotate it. That's a bottom half. And then we're going to rotate this one. We're going to have to do that a couple of times in order to get it on the bottom. And now we have bottom halves. So we have these two that are working on the current goal and those two that are working on the upgrade goal. Almost to the next level of the tier 1 extraction. Let's look at these. I've got this one and I have no idea how to make that, but there are different shapes on this board. We're going to have to go out quite a bit. That shape is all actually way over here. And that is a good thing. It sounds like it's, oh my gosh, how am I going to get it there? But that belt can be used later for adding on other things that we're going to build. So that having a big old long belt, not a big deal. When it first starts to move over there, it's going to take time, but we can set that up right now. So what we are going to do, thinking, I need to scroll out. We are going to take some extractors. How many do we need? We need a couple hundred, don't we? 500. So we're going to take a couple of extractors. Forgot the shift button. And we're going to take these two, merge them into one. Okay? Then we're going to take, I'm actually going to move that back a little bit. Let's move that back here. And then take that one out, and we're going to take these out. And because we're merging, we don't have to worry about a trash can there. There's nothing that we need to worry about on that one because it's merging it on there. It's not cutting them in half and leaving some of it laying there. All right, and then I'm going to put another merger. And these can actually, oh my goodness, tunnel has been unlocked. We'll do tunnels in just a second. This is going pretty quickly, actually. You can actually put them right on top of each other. So then we take this one and we move that there. And we're going to take this and we're just going to slide way the heck over here. Yes, we can go through those fields. Whoops. Okay, maybe that was a little too far. No. I'm a messy, messy conveyor, apparently. Okay, we're going to let that run. Now, like I said, we're going past all kinds of stuff. So there are things that we can put in there that will we'll be able to add them in the same way we did over there with these mergers. All right, now we need the upper right. So we want to take this one and this one out. And we're going to put a cutter right there. Well, phooey. Okay, we're going to have to get rid of this. We need to put a trash can there. We're going to put a cutter here. And like I said, you can put them right on top of each other. So that helps. We need this side. So we're going to put a trash can on this one and throw that conveyor belt in there. And now we have these running, and I need 270 of those. So we are going to change this. I'm going to put the trash can on this side. Move that one in there. Okay, that doesn't work because that's not what we want. Oops. No, I don't want you going to the trash can. We're going to put a cutter there. After we would have to rotate this quite a bit. Okay, let's not do that. Let's do this. We'll move the cutter down. Put the trash can there. We're going to move the rotator. Whoops, that one won't work. The input and output are in the wrong place. Put the rotator there and put another cutter here. And then I'm not sure we want that side. So put the trash can there and a conveyor belt going there, and get rid of this. Okay, so now we have 3 rows, because I need to move this one in, don't I? Only that doesn't do what I want it to do. So we need to rotate that a couple of times, actually. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I've got enough space. Oops. Because I would need to rotate it again. And then put the cutter in. That's not the cutter. This is the cutter. But I don't know which one is giving me the one I want. It cuts this way. Cuts this way. And that one's going on the left. So it's probably coming out here, but we can't put a trash can there. It's going into the hub. So it is what it is. We need 270 of this. Now let's look at something else. We're at 300. We're already at 273 of these. See, it's important to put as many as you can in so that you can move forward. All right, that's 20 minutes on this. So I'm going to pause it and I'm going to pull up a game that is a little longer. I'm going to show you some of the more advanced things, and they aren't, believe me, they aren't even close to the most advanced things, but I'm going to show you kind of what about 2 hours worth of playing got me. All right, I will be right back. All right, so here we are in a much later version of the game. Right before I quit on the other one, we got tunnels. So what happens with the tunnels is it literally, exactly what it sounds like, it tunnels under whatever's going on so that you can not have to keep going around and around like we were doing before. After tunnels, one of the things you get is paint. Here are our paint nodes, I guess would be the word. you grab your paint, and let me find a more simple one. Maybe I don't, maybe I don't have a more simple one. Here's red. We're pulling the red out of the node here, and we're applying it with the paint piece to these bizarre shapes. Like a rectangle attached to a partial star. That one, thankfully, is a shape that's actually on the board. It won't let me. Let's do that. The shape that's on the board. So, and here's my star shape where I'm pulling. We've got this little, it looks like a jellyfish to me, kind of shape that's over here that we'll be using. We've got red, we've got green. I know it looks yellow, but green. We've got blue. Now, we can combine colors, and that's what we're doing here. We're taking our green and we're taking our blue and we're combining them. And then I take them and apply them here to the stars. And here's those mergers again, where we're putting the gray stars and the red stars are moving together here. And then the gray and red are joining the teal up there. Now, one of the things that Cheetah was the one who helped me on this game. One of the things that you need to be aware of is mixing the colors. Green and red, of course, make purple. Red and green are yellow, which is weird, but green and blue is teal, and all of them are white. So you can take all three of them to make white, or if you have these colors already mixed, the yellow, purple, and blue, you can mix those. So apparently white becomes a major color thing, and since everything starts gray, you'll have to color it white. Let's see, what's some other things that she showed me? Stackers. We actually don't have a stacker started yet, I don't think. Oh, we do have a stacker right here. Okay, so we have this strange shape over here, and we actually needed stars. So we needed the left half of this on both sides in order to make that star. So we brought it in here and we cut it. And we brought it in here and we cut it. And then we flipped it. And then we stacked them. Now, a stack will do one of two things. It will stack things on top of each other, which is how this blue and white one and the red and yellow one over here, that's how we're going to get those. The stacker will stack things on top of each other, or it will take the two pieces, if they're different orientation, and just stick them together. So you can do both of those things with that. Let's do this. Let's take, we need a red star and a yellow circle. Yellow is orange or red and green. And I have, do I have any red and green that are close together? I have red and green over here that are close together. And I need that on a circle. So we're going to take this over here, make circles that are red and green. Or yellow. I have a star way over here. I'm going to take the star and I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to color it red. And then I'm going to bring the circle down here. I'm going to color it red and yellow, and then we'll stack them together. When I get to the paint part, that's when I'll come off of pause. All right, so let's look at this red star. You see, I've got my line coming off of here, and here's my red. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to create a couple of lines for, I wish I would remember to use the shift key for that. I'm going to use a couple of lines for paint for red to color this star. I'm going to take my painter. The painter can be flipped. So there's two variants. If you want the input for the paint on the bottom, use this one. If it needs to be on the top, you do that. You don't get these variants until a little later in the game. You usually only get one to start. I actually don't want that there. Let's move that one back a little bit. Let's put it here because I need to run the paint to it. Now the other one, the other game that I'm going to show you, it has, if you're going one direction, it just stays going that direction. Unfortunately, it doesn't go around corners like this. Of course, that could be a good thing sometimes. It doesn't automatically go around corners. You have to stop, and it's frustrating a little bit. But so is having to erase the line you just did because it did weird, wacky snake type moves. All right, so now we have our red stars coming out. Oh, wait, I've got to do something to cause one of the two of these to jump. There. Now we aren't in each other's way. But my belt is going back the wrong direction. So there's our red stars. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to create yellow circles. So give me just a second. All right, so I brought my stars over here in preparation. And then here's my color mixer, my painter. So we're just going to take our colors and we're going to have some bridges in here. So let's be careful to give ourselves enough room. There's our red. And then we're going to bring the green down from here. And I said red and green making yellow is weird, but it just, while I was thinking about it, RGB makes everything. So, yeah. All right, we're going to take this one and we're going to use that one in a tunnel. Now the tunnels, it's kind of hard with my mouse, but you see the yellow or the green arrow that tells us what direction the input is. So we need to turn this, and it can jump a number of tiles over here based on the level of it. So right now it can jump 5 tiles, and that's not going to work. Darn it, because I need it to go that way. So this is what we do. We're going to get rid of that one. And we're going to bring it down one. Color mixing. Put our red back in here. And then this one will combine there. Connect. And then we come up here and grab the other one to connect it. And then when we have our output, we have yellow. Now we can start applying it to the circles, which I grabbed from here. And we've got our stars over here. And we're going to have to jump those. So let's go ahead and put our tunnels in. There and there. Here and here. Yes. May have to adjust that a little bit depending on. And then we've got, oh boy, that's not going to work either. Because I need to be able to tunnel under there. So we have to, I told you logistics is not my forte. So we're going to take all of this out again. We're going to put this a little lower this time. Paint, because we have to have room for tunnel, because we're going to have to jump here. Actually, no, let's move that over a little bit still. We'll do it here, because we don't want to run into that over there. We've got to merge these belts here pretty soon. Okay. Our yellow going into the painter, our circles coming into the painter, and now we have yellow circles coming out. All right, now we have to merge these. We need to stack them. And the question I have, so I'm going to have to think about this a minute. How do I ensure that the red star goes in on the bottom? So let me think about this for a second, and I'll come back. All right, so here we are. Excuse me. The first thing I had was that my tunnel only goes 5, but I had it going 6. So I had to do an intermediary tunnel jump. That was the first thing. And then when it comes to putting the shape together, the one that is on the main input, where the belt is, not in this case, it's not straight through, but imagine that that belt is straight through. The one that is on this longer side is on the bottom. And whatever's coming from this half side, that one's going to go on top. So that's where we get our shape for this one. Now, of course, I've got another input line to make another one. So we take our stacker, and I'm going to put it this direction. Add my bottom item to the long side. Add my top item to the short side. Pull that out of there and throw it down on, whoops. I can't throw it down on that belt. That's not the way this one works. Do this and do a merger. And now it's all going in on the same belt. So that's how you do stacking as well. There we have shapes. It is a crazy, crazy thing. This is not even close to, this is maybe a couple of hours in. Here's our current upgrade requirements. I haven't even started this one. I haven't started that one, just barely started this one. So these are kind of maybe intermediary level shapes, and then it just keeps getting crazier from here. But that's the automation of shapes and a little bit of techniques and ideas that you can use to help when you play the game. I couldn't find a video that I was able to put into my video to give you a preview of Shapes 2. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to play, but not for very long. I just want you to see the difference between the two, because this is very 2D and Shapes 2 is very much not. So give me a second, let me pull that up and we'll look at Shapes 2. All right, this is Shapes 2. Completely different look, right? Oh my gosh. It has trains. It has platforms. This is the main platform, but we've got all of this that is going on out here, and it's a whole different animal. The idea is similar. It's pretty simple to start to play. I like this. Thank you for signing up. You did sign up, right? Welcome to your certification. Either way, the Vortex requires me to evaluate your factory operator skills before issuing your operator badge. Simply deliver the requested shapes as efficiently as possible. That's it. I might reward you with new upgrades and technologies based on your performance. And you can have as many buildings as you want, but please don't damage them. I still need them for the next participant. And then down here, I will strive for efficiency and build no spaghetti factories. I love it. Okay, so very different look. Yes, they're 3D. It's just, it's an incredible platform. I'm flabbergasted. You've got to go and look at the video, the promotional video on this, because I'm not going to show you very much, and you have to see this game, how it looks when it plays. So extractors, we know about extractors. In this case, I don't have to hold anything down except the left mouse button. I can just drag to create the extractors. Now in the other game, you could go to a certain point and then turn and go a little more and turn some more. This one, if you're going to stay consistent, when you get to a corners, you can only make one turn. So it says place anchors with C, and then you can just keep dragging. And we're dropping it into this vortex. So right now, open the knowledge panel to review past instructions. And then here's some informational stuff. Get started. Place 4 extractors, use belts to deliver to the vortex. Open the knowledge panel to receive past instructions. That's helpful. Shapes. There are multiple different shapes. Each shape has a quarter. They can all be separated. Different layers, the shape viewer. We've got camera navigation, basic controls, conveyors and lifts. Yes, you've got to play this game. It is just really, really interesting take on what we've just played. And I think they've done an amazing job. Now this is in early access, so they are looking for feedback of how the game plays. And this says place 3 half destroyers to cut shapes in half. And then so here's our milestones. We need half shapes on the circles, but we also need to start a conveyor belt of squares. So our squares are over here. And then if you go over to this side, there's more circles and more squares over there. But remember, I was talking about there being multiple platforms. Why won't you turn for me? There's all kinds of stuff that goes on out there too. So like that one, there's a shape, right? And here's our color node. It's very similar to the other one, but it's nothing like the other one, right? Okay, so we're gonna do the cutter real quick. And then I'm gonna just let you pull this one up and play the game yourself. You need multiple buildings per belt. The amount is shown in the top right. So I have got this half destroyer, this cutter, and it says I should have 3 for every belt that I have, or that I'm putting it on. So in this case, I need 3. And then I need the belts to split and merge. I need the belts to feed those, and I need the belts to come from those. And then see how it comes up here and it cuts half of it, throws the other one away. Deliver the half circles. This is not an idle game. Why not extract some squares? The thing about this over here is that it doesn't care what orientation, and I love this, it doesn't care what orientation these are in. If you have a half circle, whether it's all on the left, all on the top, all on the bottom, it's going to count it over here, every single one that goes in there. So you don't have to fiddle with that. And for me, that's a big thing because I have enough trouble putting the figures together the right way if I have to orient them as well. And then when you start to stack things, you already have that where you have to orient it exactly the way you need it. So knowing that at least on this, I don't have to worry about that, we're good. Okay, so that is shapes and shapes 2. And if you've gotten this far, please hit a like on the video. I appreciate it. It helps other people to find my videos when they're looking for games to play as well. If you want to know about the next videos that I am posting, hit subscribe and set yourself up for those. And now that you've seen Shapes and Shapes 2, I'm going to take you to another factory game that's kind of similar to Shapes, but with a different twist. All right, so this is the second full game that we're going to look at. It's called Beltmatic, and instead of shapes, you can see it's numbers. So let's do a new game. Panning is WASD, or you can right mouse, hold and drag. And again, look at the size of this field. We've got numbers everywhere. In fact, I want to show you. Spacebar can pause the number that we need to deliver, the number of them that we need to deliver, and then build an extractor and some belts. But look at this over here. We've got 22, 27, 20, 29. I don't know if there's any numbers higher than 29. So this is not for the faint of heart. If you're, I love numbers. Getting to the number is not difficult. It's the logistics of getting the number to here that I have trouble with. So we need a whole bunch of ones. So let's, and boy, that bugs me. This one does not go around corners automatically. So we only need 10 of these. That's not going to take very long. And now we need 2s. So an adder is how we get to that. So we're going to, here's our adder. We have an A and a B. We're going to put our adder there, A and B, and now we have 2s coming in here. See? All right, this one also has upgrades. We need to continue putting that 1 in there for a while. And we're going to need a whole bunch of 2s to speed of what's coming on the belt, speed of what's coming out of the extractor, and speed of the adders. And the adders are pretty slow. So we really, when we get to, we know we need 3s, so we can already start building those. We have 2s coming out of here, right? Now I could take the 2s off of there and add it to another one. And since we've got a lot coming out of here and it's backing up, that's probably a good idea. So that's what we're going to do. Just like there are 2 inputs on here, there are 2 outputs as well. So either side, I could be coming straight down on both of these. It doesn't really matter the order. And you have to have a space in between, so it has to be there. I like the other one because you can actually get the words are hard. I got distracted. You can actually put the equipment right on top of each other, but I have found on this one that there has to be a space. I don't know if that's, let's just try it actually. We can't right click to get rid of these. We actually have to demolish it. But let's put one in here and see if we get an output, because I seem to remember that it doesn't. And it not going around corners drives me crazy. See, now the 2 is coming out of here. You saw that it was coming out of here, but it's not adding with this 1 anymore. So unfortunately, and you can hotkey this as well. Unfortunately, you have to have a space between these 2 multipliers, addenders, whatever these functions are. The other thing is that where the other one you just took here and dragged, you actually have to start in order to get those things to start moving. And you have to actually, whoops, you actually have to go all the way in to bring it into the next. So we have our 3s. Oh, look, we have an upgrade. So we've put in 200 ones already. So we're going to click to upgrade the belt speed, which will help. And now it's dropped this back down to 77. So I'm buying the next one with what I have. So now I need 1,000 ones and 500 12s. So I already know what my numbers need to be. So how do I get to 12? Now, scroll out. There are other numbers around here. We get 2 over here. There's a 3 here. Couple of 5s, but until they're white, we can't use them. So we have to stick with 1s for now. This game is a little different, where before you had to use a machine to combine. In this game, you can just add them and they just start clunking in there. So we're going to start over here because we need 12. That means a lot of adding things, right? I don't even know when 2 comes up, but as soon as it does, oh, here we go. Once 3 is done, extraction 2 block. So I think maybe we'll just wait a minute here for the 3s to finish doing what they're doing. Let me pause and we'll come back. All right, so I'm going to do this. Now we know because of this, we're going to need 1s, 2s, and 3s still for a while. And 2s are moving kind of slowly. I can take 2s when they come up in just a second. There's number 35 right there. I can take those and feed them in there. But one of the things that is helpful in this game, if we copy down here, Control C to copy this. We can then rotate it so that it will fit on the block that we have, right? Although and copy it on there. Now what I think I'm going to do is actually move this one to this side. And then put this one on this side, because then I can reroute those belts. Need that going in there. Ooh, we need a space in between, don't we? Okay, gotta get rid of that, gotta get rid of this. Add that adder up here. And then we don't need that. We aren't gonna need these. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying what's going on in my game by duplicating what I've already got working. So if I come out of here and put this one going in, there's my 2s, right? And I've got my 2 coming up there with my 1, and here's my 3s, and we're just going to tag that into this line when it starts to go. There we go. So now we've got 2 sets of these that are actually putting in numbers that we want. 2 1s, we've got 2 2s. Oh, we don't need this line at all, do we? Do we? Oh, that line's no good. It's not going anywhere. It's coming out of an input. All right, so we have 2s here, 3s there, and 1s over here. Now we're working on these in the background. Now we're going to go up, and instead of putting the 12 that I need, that I know is next, right? Well, I don't know if it's next because there will be more little bars here, but I need 12. My next number is actually 5. But we're going to go controls. We're actually going to go up here. And we're going to work on our 12 up here because we're going to have to do a lot of adding. Now, thankfully, eventually, you get other mathematical operators. So we'll get multiplication and division and subtraction in here eventually. That's all I know right now. There may be more, but for now, I know we're going to get those. All right, we're going to put an AB there, and an AB here, and an AB there. Yeah, let's do that. Anytime I stop, it's just because I'm thinking. Whoops. I wanted to go around quarters so badly. All right, so now we have 4s coming out of here. And we're going to add our 4s together to get 8s. Let's do it this way. And we're actually going to take this stuff away. And I think I'm actually going to move these a little further out. In fact, my brain is busy thinking, so I apologize for the... No, that was right. That was correct. All right, we're going to move these a little further out, and we're going to take the full outputs from both of them to make 8. And then we're going to rotate this, and we're going to put a couple of those there. And this time we're going to put a 2 in there. And this is a little bit of a challenge because I know, we'll just do it this way. We'll bring it out of here and put it in there. And now we will have our 10s. And we can stick that on there. Bring this down to maybe there, and then we'll bring it into here. Now, let's make our life easy. We are going to Control C and copy this. Rotate it. There we go. Put it there. Actually, and you can Control Z out of this, which is kind of nice. We actually need to copy all of this and rotate it. And now we can put it over here. But instead of having this go up, I'm going to have those come down. So let's get rid of that. I just realized something. Let's take... these are upside down, first of all. Boy. Okay, let's rotate those. Is it gonna feed? It is. But let's take this one instead. And then that way, I should be able to get both of these moving relatively quickly. So if we've copied it, then we need to have an AB there and an AB here. And we're going to take this one into there, and this one into there. We're going to get rid of that one. We're going to take this one into here, and this one into here. And then we're going to take both of these up. And we're going to tag them into the same line. we don't need 10s, we need 12s. I just realized that. We actually are going to need 10s short. So let's do this. We'll put an adder right there. We'll drop this 2 off of there. Whoops. No, I need to turn that, don't I? But I don't know if there's a way to turn it once you've plugged it in. All right, we'll do that. We'll need to move this to here. And now we'll have 12s. Eventually we're going to need 10s. There we go. Okay, eventually we're going to need 10s because I believe the current one we're on is 5, which I'm going to go build. And then after 5, the next one should be 10. And we'll look at that as it goes. I'm going to build the 5, and then I'll come back in a little bit after we have a few more of those words. A few more of these things, upgrades filled out. All right, so new functions popped up, and that's this bridge, which is super, super helpful. Really good timing in working on this 5, because I need to add another set of 1s over here on this. And there we go. So it bridges it. Now I don't have to try to go around, which is what I was working on doing right here. I was going to duplicate everything, work my way around. I could use this one down here as well, but all right, we've had a couple of things go up. So I have 358 of 300. So of course, when I do this, now I only have 58, but I need 2K and I need the number 14. I thought I was going to need the number 10, but I don't. I need the number 11. So, bleh. All right, instead of adding this 2, I'm going to get rid of that bridge right there. And I'm going to get rid of this. And instead of adding the 2, I'm going to go over here and add a 1 in. There, and now I have 11s. I need 100 of those. But I showed you the bridge, I showed you the duplication, I've showed you, showed is not the correct word, shown you, I've shown you the upgrades and how these change. I'm really surprised 5 didn't leave something here for us. Very strange. And actually this may have been 10, but I was busy working on something else and I didn't actually look when the little ding came into my headset. So this is the idea, that we're trying to put all of these numbers together and deliver them as we need to. Now in this case, I no longer need 5s. So I think what I would do with this one instead I need 11. I have 8s. How about if we put a 1 over here? And we do a couple of adders there. We'll go 1 here and 1 here. Take our 1s, add them in there. And because we have a bridge, we can do this. Because now we need 8s. And we're just going to drag these down in here. Make 8. Take our 8s and join them into... No, that doesn't work, does it? Because we need 3, not 1. So I'll need to bring something off of here, add it to the 1, then add the 8s to it. That sounds like a plan. All right, I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to just go ahead and jump to my more advanced game so that you can see the craziness of this game, and I'll show you some more tips for making this a little more streamlined. I'll be right back. All right, as I showed you, the board is actually pretty huge, but because it's huge, we can use lines as our conveyor belts as an avenue for multiple things going on. Now, this is what I have in my arsenal. I am working on 18s, 16s, 3s, 15s, and all of these other numbers. Plus the 291, which I haven't started to build yet. Those are the numbers that I have moving on the board. I actually may have more moving on the board, and I've just left them. Like I have 89, but I also have 111. Do I still need 111? I guess I do. So there may be numbers in there. 80, I don't need, but it builds into the 89. So here's what I've got. And here's what I want to show you. We now have multipliers. Like I said, eventually you have division and subtraction. I don't know what these two are. Haven't ever gotten that far. Sorry, a little bit of frog in my throat again. So we've got our numbers coming out, and because we've got our multipliers, you saw how these get backed up pretty quickly. So if we're using it in multiple locations, then the lines are moving a little faster. They don't get stuck quite so much. We can just put these all in a row, and now I've got my 20s coming out here real quick, and they load in as they go for here, and then they come out from 80s. Then we have the same thing with our adders. Numbers are coming in from 2 different rows, going out on another. Let's see. Okay, here's one that's really kind of crazy. I needed 16s. In 16, I needed a ton of them. Do I still need them? Yes, I still need 3,000 more 16s. So I have 2s becoming 4s, 4s becoming 16. And I'm just using the same output. And you see they're still pretty much just flowing. This one goes all the way down here, and I add 2 to it, and now I've got 18. So I must have 16 growing someplace else as well. I have 18 there. Do I not have any 16s going in? I have 15. I do not appear to have any 16s. So in this case, if I've got these 16s running, and I have these 18s running, I can actually get rid of this grouping here in this line in its entirety. And then we're going to change the direction of this belt and plug it into this one. And now I've got my 16s moving again. I didn't realize I didn't have 16s. So they join the belt. These actually don't have to jump that belt. I think I jumped it at some point because this belt was backed up. One of these belts was backed up, but I could just get rid of the bridge and just add it into that line as well. So you can see multiple, this is coming all the way down here, and turning into 18. I'm adding 100 from way over here. And I'm getting 118 there. But I also have 18 coming in from... Where did I have the 18 coming in from? Maybe I did actually mess up. Do I have to have 18s? I do need some 18s, but I need some 16s as well. I'll have to look and see what I've got. But this is what we do. We pull from way out here, do our multiplication, do our math, and throw it in there logistically. Now, I have to admit that on this one, I actually got some pointers, because I would have been trying to put all of the closer numbers in and make them all go into this hub, because this is the only place you can collect that. I got pointers from Jaron, so a lot of me learning this came from him, and I will tell you a lot of him learning this came from a YouTube video. So I hope you've liked Beltmatic. I really enjoyed this game. Logistically, it's a nightmare for me. I don't always think that way, so it takes me time to figure out what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it that way. But it's not something that is super taxing to my brain. It's a simple, easy game to learn the logistics. Take a little bit of tweaking. Like I said, I got help. But this and Shapez as well, they're both games that you could do it for a little bit, turn it off because your brain is just done, put it away for a while, and come back and do some more later when you just feel like, oh, hey, let me go see what the factory is doing. I hope you've liked these two games. Remember to take a look at the promo page, which I'll put in the description, for Shapez 2. This has been Hey Mom Play This. I'm Kimmy Amber. Thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you when we play the next game together.